You're asleep, completely out, drooling on your pillow, probably snoring, zero awareness of the world around you. Now imagine you're not in your bedroom, you're in a tent, a thin piece of nylon, embarrassingly thin, separating you from a forest full of animals that could absolutely end you if they felt like it. Lions, bears, wolves, leopards, creatures that can hear your heartbeat from across a clearing, smell you from a mile away, and see perfectly in the dark while you're just lying there with your eyes closed. And yet, you wake up in the morning, every single time. Think about this seriously. A sleeping human is just meat, slow meat, quiet meat, meat that can't fight back, can't run, can barely register that something is happening until it's already happening. You'd think predators would be circling campsites every night like an all-you-can-eat buffet. They're not. And the reason they're not is never just one thing. There are several layered explanations, each more fascinating than the last, and together they paint a picture of a strange, invisible agreement between humans and the wild, an agreement that goes back further than civilization, further than agriculture, further than anything we normally think of as human history. Start with the thing that sounds like an ego trip, but is actually just biology. You are terrifying. Not you specifically, but humans as a species to predators, we are genuinely, deeply, evolutionarily frightening. Not in a way that's obvious from looking at us. We don't have claws, we're not fast, we can't even see well in the dark. On paper, we're kind of a disaster as an animal. And yet, a study published in 2019 by researchers at UC Santa Cruz played audio recordings of human voices near mountain lions in California. Normal human voices, people just talking. And the pumas fled. At the same rate they fled from dogs barking, in many cases even faster. These are animals that take down full-grown deer like it's nothing. They heard a conversation and ran. The same research showed that pumas abandoned food they'd already killed when they heard human voices nearby, left their meal on the ground and moved away. From a survival standpoint, that's enormous. A predator giving up a kill is basically working for free. And they still did it because the discomfort of being near humans outweighed the cost of hunger. This pattern holds across continents. Lions in Kruger National Park reduced movement in areas with higher human activity. Tigers in India give wide berths to villages even in prime habitat. Jaguars in the Amazon adjusted their entire movement patterns to avoid locations where humans are regularly present. These aren't animals physically incapable of attacking. They're animals that have decided at a species level over thousands of generations that being near us isn't worth it. The reason is one of the most brutal facts in natural history. We have been hunting and killing large predators so effectively and for so long that we have literally shaped their genetics. Humans have been active predators for around 2 million years. We hunted mammoths out of existence. We wiped megafauna off entire continents. In North America, we hunted wolves to near extinction across the entire continental landmass. The predators alive today are descended from the animals that were most careful around us. The ones that approached human camps too boldly got killed. The ones that kept their distance survived, reproduced, and passed that inherited caution to their offspring. Over thousands of generations, that caution became instinct. So, when a leopard picks up your scent at night, somewhere deep in its nervous system, a very old alarm goes off. Not a thought exactly, an ancient, wired-in, inherited signal that says, don't engage, move on. That alarm has been passed down from every ancestor of that leopard that survived a close encounter with humans. It's biological memory, and it runs deep. You've probably never thought about how you smell because you're surrounded by other humans and you've normalized it completely. To a predator with a nose anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive than yours, you are broadcasting an enormous and deeply strange chemical signal. Bears have a sense of smell 7 times stronger than a bloodhound's. Wolves can detect scents from nearly 2 miles away. Big cats have a specialized organ in the roof of their mouths that lets them taste the air and analyze chemical information at a level we can barely imagine. When these animals encounter a sleeping human, they're receiving a flood of olfactory data, and a lot of it is just wrong. You smell like synthetic fabrics. You smell like processed food, soap, sunscreen, insect repellent, a cocktail of artificial compounds with no analog anywhere in the natural world. Beneath all of that, you smell like a primate, which is something, but it's not the thing, not the deer or the wildebeest or the rabbit that these predators have evolved over millions of years to recognize and hunt. A predator's hunting instinct is not generic. It's a finely tuned system calibrated to specific prey. A wolf's predatory response is triggered by the movement patterns of ungulates. A lion's strike mechanism is activated by the shape, speed, and smell of animals it has hunted thousands of times. You don't fit the pattern. You're not in the system, and anomalies trigger caution rather than aggression in most predators. There's also the fire effect, one of the most underrated things humans ever figured out. Fire produces a near-universal fire response across virtually all land animals. It's not learned, it's innate. Animals that were afraid of fire in the wild survived wildfires. Animals that weren't didn't. The fear is so deeply embedded that laboratory-raised animals who have never been near fire show avoidance behavior at the smell of smoke alone. Humans discovered fire somewhere between 1 and 2 million years ago, and for most of that time, sleeping next to fire has been standard operating procedure, not just for warmth, but because it works as a repellent. A campfire broadcasts a signal into the dark that says something dangerous is here, something that controls fire. The predators got that message long ago. Now it triggers avoidance automatically. Movies have spent decades getting this completely wrong. Predators are not reckless. The image of the apex predator as a fearless killing machine that attacks anything within range is fiction. In reality, large predators are extraordinarily careful about what they engage with because they have to be. A lion doesn't have health insurance. One serious injury, a broken leg, a deep bite wound, a damaged eye, can mean a slow death by starvation. In the wild, injuries either heal on their own while the animal somehow still hunts, or they don't heal and the animal dies. This means every decision a predator makes about engaging with something is a survival calculation. Is the caloric value of this target worth the risk of injury? Is this prey familiar enough that I know how it will behave? A sleeping human fails this calculation in multiple ways. First, unfamiliarity. A predator is most confident attacking prey it knows deeply. How a zebra runs, where its blind spots are, how it kicks when it panics. It does not know how a human will respond. Humans are wildly unpredictable. We might wake up screaming. We might have tools nearby. We might thrash in completely unexpected ways. That level of uncertainty is a massive red flag. Second, why bother? There are almost always easier options. A healthy territory has access to prey it knows, prey it's comfortable hunting, prey that fits its biological template. The risk-reward math of attacking something strange and unknown just doesn't work out. And here's something that almost never comes up. Your sleep is not as deep as you think. Human sleep runs in cycles, down into deep, slow wave sleep, then back up into lighter stages, where your brain remains surprisingly responsive to the environment. External sounds still get processed. Unfamiliar noises are more likely to break through into awareness than familiar ones. Scientists call this the sentinel function of sleep. The humans in our evolutionary history who slept too deeply were more likely to not wake up at all. The lighter sleepers, the ones who could go from asleep to on their feet in seconds, survived and reproduced. Over hundreds of thousands of years, human sleep got tuned to stay light enough to respond to threats. None of this means you're untouchable. The attacks that do happen follow a consistent pattern, a predator that's injured and can't hunt its normal prey, one that's starving because its habitat has been destroyed, one that's lost its inherited wariness through too much contact with humans. The lions of Tsavo that killed railway workers in 1898. One had severe dental damage that made normal prey nearly impossible to hunt. The Champawat tiger, responsible for hundreds of deaths in India, was found to have had 2 canine teeth shattered by a previous gunshot wound. The pattern repeats across almost every documented case. Something broke. The normal calculation changed. Which means the rule holds in conditions where the ecosystem is intact, the predator is healthy, and humans haven't scrambled the signals by leaving food out or eliminating the campfire because it seemed unnecessary. We have been so effective at making the natural world afraid of us that it now causes problems we didn't anticipate. That same 2019 UC Santa Cruz study found that the fear of humans cascades through entire food webs. When pumas avoid areas where humans are active, deer populations in those zones increase. That deer population overgrazes vegetation. Rodent populations expand because their predators also avoid human areas. Everything shifts because of our presence, because the fear we generated over millennia radiates outward through the ecosystem like a signal. One species, one inherited fear, rippling across the entire living world. So the next time you're lying in a tent in the middle of nowhere, listening to the sounds of the dark beyond the nylon wall, and you feel that pulse of ancient anxiety, that's fine. That feeling kept your ancestors alive. But the thing outside the tent is not coming in. It knows better.